The end of the week means that it's time to total up all my expenses and see how I did against my budget. If you're ready, let's go. Welcome back to Ready Budget Go. My name is Drew, and on this channel we talk about household budgeting, saving money, and achieving our financial goals. So if those sound like things that you vibe with, please consider subscribing, hit the like button, and leave me a comment down below, because I'd love to hear from you. It's the end of the week, so I'm going to run through all of the numbers for the week, everything that I brought in and everything that I spent, and we'll see how I did. The first thing that I'm going to do is start with the cash dump, and this cash dump is going to look different from previous weeks. So let me just move my budget binder out of the way for a moment, and I'll get us some more light here. So this week, I really only spent about $40. And I say only $40 because normally I spend close to my full allotment. I might have one $20 bill to spare, but usually I spend most of the cash that I allocate to myself. Cash spent means that any of the 20s that I've taken out of the bank have left my life. So every week I make sure that I have $100 for the next week. And then throughout the week I spend only the 20s, everything else I save back. This week was a little bit different because I ended up spending only 2 of the 20s, so I still had $60 at the end of the week. And in fact, those 60 are right here in this pouch, which is where I keep my weekly cash. So ordinarily, I would just roll these over and say I would record $40 as cash spent for the week, but I need these 20s. Prime Day is going on as I record this, and I have spent a lot of money. I planned on spending a lot of money, excuse me, on Prime Day, both for Christmas presents, for things that I need for my own life that I've been putting off waiting for a good sale, and for just everyday household things that are on a deep discount. Things like laundry detergent, bathroom tissue, laundry sanitizer, things like that. So I've spent quite a bit. I won't know exactly how much that is until next week, just because I have kind of deferred all of the shipping because then I can get more cash back through Amazon. But when you do that, Amazon doesn't charge your card until they actually ship the item. So I don't have the full total yet. I also redeemed Amazon points, and I meant to cash in my coins and I just didn't get to it. So I've still got all the coins, but that's okay because I'll need them later on in the year. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of these 20s along with all of the change I got into the letterbox challenge, because that is what goes to essentially pay this bill. And so I need all of the money I can scrounge together in July to pay the credit card bill that will come due in August. So this is going to go into the letterbox along with these bills from the 20s that I did spend. I have $5, $10, $11, $12, $13, $14, $15, $16, $17 left. So not a bad haul. $77 going into Letterboxd. So I really only spent $23, but that remainder will go towards paying the big old Amazon bill. So that's that part of it. And then I also have the change, and that will go into the change bag here. And I will redeem this for an Amazon gift card. I might put this off until Black Friday, or if they do that sale event again in October, we'll have to see. And Prime Day isn't over. If they come out with a stupendous, sale on the last day, I may still be able to shop for relatives for their Christmas presents. Okay, so that's that. That is this done, and this done. So I'm done with the cash dump. So let me set all these aside, and we'll go into zip everything shut first. We'll go back to the budget binder, and we'll talk about all the money that came into and out of my life this week. Into my life, there was nothing. It's early in the month, and I get paid on the 15th and the last day of the month. So I've not yet received my first paycheck. So womp womp there. I also learned this week that I will not be getting a raise. And the reason is because my company is not doing well. I have thoughts about that, but that's not really the scope of this video. So I'll just suffice to say that we were told that our raises are being delayed by 6 months, so we'll get them in the new year. And we'll have to see if I'm still working for this company in the new year. Anyway, okay, so things are what they are. No income yet. Then for bills, I did get the Quantum bill, which is my internet. That came out $80 as expected. And YouTube Premium was also $16 as expected. I also have started receiving the doctor bills. In fact, I have all three of them, and I am happy to say that they all came in lower than what I budgeted for. However, one of them I still think is too high, so I need to call them. I just have not had time. So that's the good news. Bad news is I had another doctor appointment today, and I need a significant number of tests, some of which will be, I'm sure, quite expensive. So I will need to carve out money for that in the August budget, which further delays my goals. And, so everything kind of slides to the right. But that's okay. Health is important. We only have one body, we only have one life. So I'll do what I need to do there. Okay. So wallet spending we'll come back to. Stockpiles, I didn't budget anything for this month. And then that gets us to the savings and extra debt from game night and the savings challenge books this week. I put $301 into the savings. So before we do that, let me go over to the cash flow real quick. And I had a deposit. And this was from Letterbucks. And that was $200. And that will be going directly to Bezos and company at Amazon. $200. So this was all of the bills that I'd set aside for that challenge where I completed the challenges. If you didn't catch my video on that, I posted it on July 5th, so it should be fairly recent in my list of videos. So I deposited that, and if you haven't seen this tracker before, this is mostly, it's like a check register, right? So everything that comes into and goes out of my checking account on a monthly basis. Outflows this week, I just had two. I had the Roth IRA, and that was the $301 that I spoke about earlier, and also an ATM withdrawal for $100, and that was for my spending money for next week. So that's it for there. So let's talk about expenses next. And I meant to pre-fill all of these in, but I didn't, so we'll go through them real quick. On the 4th, that was DoorDash and food. And that was $23.92. I did not get my groceries ordered before the 4th, and then it was really hot that weekend, so there's going to be a lot of DoorDashing here. In fact, on the 5th, also was DoorDash, and I'm just going to use ditto marks here rather than writing everything again. $29.12. On the 6th, finally, groceries, Safeway, also food, $103.46. On the 8th, back to DoorDash. Again, it was really hot. Did not feel like cooking. That's food, $17.28. On the 10th, which was today, I went and got teriyaki because I had a doctor's appointment and the doctor was really far away. So I knew I was going to have to eat on the road. $21.32. But I really like the doctor that I saw today. So even though his clinic is 2 counties away and it took forever to get there and forever to get home, I regret nothing, and I'm really happy with him. So I feel like it was worth it. Then this evening, because I was traveling all day, DoorDash again, food, and that was $17.37. That was less expensive because of a promo. Also today, I went to McDonald's. That was this morning for food, $2.12. Again, made less expensive because of a promo. And then weekly cash. And so, as I explained earlier, I'm recording the full 100 as spent because the 60 that I didn't quote unquote spend is going to the Letterbox challenge to pay the big Amazon bill that's going to be coming. Okay, so let's total everything up and let me get out a highlighter. So 2392, oops, it's not wanting to move. 2392 plus 2912, 10346, 1728. Oh, nuts. 2392, 2912, 10346, 1728, 2132, 1737, $2.12, and 100, $314.59. So I'm just going to color code all of these as I do every week. Okay. We'll go back to the main page, the main budget page for July here, and record $314.59. I am going to work really hard to keep these expenses under control just for the looming medical bills. So I'll probably be living on spaghetti this week, and that's fine with me. I can do that for a week and try to control this number. Okay, so that is it except for the savings section. So let's go over there real quick. And before we talk about the IRA, the subscription tracker, as of the time that I'm recording this, I'm at 534. When I get to 540, I will fill in another bubble and save another $500 or another $50. I wish it was 500. And I am 50 behind, so I will catch up on that here imminently. Okay. So, Sloth IRA, we got another $300 contributed, and I need to, I already took out my stamp and everything, so how is that for foresight? Okay, so I'm going to stamp 3 of these. Stamp pads about had enough. Okay. I think it's announcing its intention to fold. Okay, so on July 9th, I contributed $301, bringing my total contribution for the year to $5,371. So about $1,639 left to go, and I will have this fully funded for the year. And then all of this money is going to move on to other goals. I know that my next goal is the big move, but I've also got some other things that have come up kind of as interim goals. There was a conversation tonight on Eva's Live about some travel potentially over Thanksgiving and having a meetup. So I'm going to be looking into that and should be able to do it. But we'll see what happens. I am willing to push off the big move to ensure that I still am living my life and enjoying what I'm doing. So it's very exciting, and hopefully that all comes together, but we'll see. So that is it for this week for the budget update. Up next will be Monday's video, which will be for the savings games, and then on Wednesday for the savings challenge books. I'll be back here at the end of next week, either on Friday or Saturday, for another budget update. And then next weekend, which would be the 18th, 19th, 20th, somewhere around there, I will do the August budget. And in August, I'm going to be setting aside a lot of money for medical bills. So we'll see how that goes. But until I see you in the next one, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. I'll save $5 if you do. Leave me a comment down below so I know you were here. And again, until I see you in the next one, take care.